here with another comic book review. Today I am reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man Back in Black. Now, this was a comic that I bought at a local convention a few weeks ago that I told you about and made a video of, actually. And I said that I would review this after my Civil War review, and, well, the reason why I said I would review this specifically is because this takes place after Civil War. It's really the aftermath of it for Spider-Man. And so what happens is, during the Civil War story, Peter Parker reveals to the world that he is Spider-Man, and because of this there are ramifications, of course. And the Kingpin, one of Spider-Man's oldest foes, who's the Kingpin of crime, his real name is Wilson Fisk, and he's also a Daredevil villain. He hires an assassin to murder the Parkers, meaning Peter Parker, his Aunt May, and his wife Mary Jane. And the assassin fails to kill Peter and MJ, but does shoot Aunt May. And Peter just goes nuts. He throws a truck at the guy, and because they're on the run from the Avengers, because Spider-Man decided, oh, I don't want to work with Iron Man anymore, I want to work with Captain America because he's on the right side of this, and also, why did I reveal my identity to the world? That was a crappy idea. And it was. And but it was a good tactic on Iron Man's front, because Spider-Man's identity was the biggest kept secret to the public, and then by revealing himself, it was like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man's on board and he's Peter Parker? That caused J. Jonah Jameson to have a heart attack when he found out. And but this story was written by J. Michael Straczynski with art by Ron Garney. I had written that down because I had forgotten what his name was. Anyway, Ron Garney drew it and Straczynski wrote it, and I'm really on the fence about Straczynski because some of his work on Spider-Man in the early 2000s was very good. Others I don't even want to mention because they're so crappy. But this was my introduction to Garney's artwork, and I really liked it. It was both real and colorful, in the sense that comic books are traditionally colorful stories, but this had a more real look to it in the coloring and in the structure of the characters' look. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. And Straczynski's writing in this is pretty good. It's one of his better Spider-Man stories. And so Aunt May was shot, and Peter is just freaking out because this is the woman who raised him after his parents were killed in a plane crash. And then he had to take care of her after his uncle was murdered. And then she was very supportive of him throughout his life, and when he finally told her that he was Spider-Man, she was supportive of that, albeit a little worried for his safety, as you are with your superhero nephew. And and so what happens is, after Peter throws the truck at the guy, he takes Aunt May to the hospital and they start operating on her. And then he goes back to check on Mary Jane. She's fine. And then he looks around for clues, and he finds the sniper scope of the gun that had shot Aunt May, because it was knocked off of the gun when Peter threw the truck, like an actual full-size truck. But because of his spider strength, he can do that, which was really cool. And I'll actually show you some of the artwork in this because it's very good. Here's where he threw the truck. And so what happens is he finds the scope and he's like, I should find out who sold this and who bought it. So he goes around to the illegal arms dealers because knowing the type of person who took a shot at him and his family, they probably wouldn't have bought it from a local gun store. They would have bought it off of the black market. So he goes around all the black market arms dealers and he's just beating the crap out of them. And in his inner monologue, he's thinking to himself, this time I'm not going to pull my punches. This time no one will escape. No one will get away because I'm back, baby. And that's why it's called Back in Black, because after he finds out that it was sold to, you know, the assailant through this specialty dealer, because he talks to this one dealer, he breaks his arm, and he's like, tell me. He's going full Batman in this story. The guy says, only this guy will sell, you know, those types of guns and scopes. He's like, okay, now I gotta go to my secret stash. And so he goes to this church, which ironically is the church from when he got rid of his black costume, when it was an alien symbiote. But afterwards he had like sewn a cloth version of it, which wasn't taking over his mind. And so he goes to that church and he takes out his black cloth version of his black costume and he puts it on, and then the last shot is him like standing on this rooftop slinging his web, and then there's lightning crashing behind him and it's raining, and it is one of my favorite panels of a Spider-Man comic that I've read recently, because it is just so cool to see Spider-Man like that, and he's like, argh. And overall, I highly recommend that you read this comic book. This is part 1 in a 5-part series that I bought. 5-part story arc. And the writing is good. It's one of Straczynski's better Spider-Man stories, and this is my introduction to Ron Garney's artwork, and I really liked it. And overall, I highly recommend this book to you. I want to find parts 2, 3, 4, and 5 so I can finish and find out what happens. And next I will be doing a review on Batman the Penguin Affair Part 1, which I also bought at this convention. That's part 1 of a 3-part story arc, which I will go into better detail in my review. And that will be next, so please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I appreciate any feedback, and have a good day.